Okay, now we're taking a look at Chibok girls, government's effort to rescue the girls, President Jonathan's effort to combat Boko Haram, the issue of bring back our girls, and more. It's been over 100 days now, and there's still concern that our girls are not back. And every day when Alera and I have conversation, we do wonder, are they ever going to be brought back? But the resounding answer has got to remain yes, because of optimism.
We're still hoping,
We're
and that's
still
why we
hoping.
all still wear our yellow, which is the color
and
of
those
hope.
who wear red, wear red. So
And we're praying that
we're
those girls are
praying
brought
that
back
they will be brought
someday
back.
soon.
Yes, we're hoping so. So to have this conversation with us this morning, on my right-hand side, I've got a social commentator, Taslim Shitabe. Good morning and welcome to Sunrise. And on the other side, I don't want to say the left, we've got a public affairs analyst, Kingsley Omose.
Thank you very much.
And welcome. I guess the first question will be, why should the president wait till the girls are released before visiting Chibok? Because there is this feeling that he probably won't even go there until the girls are released, because there's been insinuation or the thought or rumors that the president will go there, and then the presidency denied it and said no, it wasn't actually in the plan. But there was some amount of movement that indicated that there will be a presidential visit.
And it took Malala for him to actually meet with the parents.
Well, we'll get to that, because the presidency will tell you, and from all of what we have heard, they said they've been making efforts. How much of an effort it is a different ball game. But they said they've been making efforts to meet with the parents and the family, so it wasn't just Malala. I think Malala was a catalyst, but I don't want to speak for the presidency. I don't work for them. So let me ask you, Taslim Shitabe, do you think it is right for the president to not have visited up till today, and that should it be a case of when the girls are brought back, which would be a massive celebration for all Nigerians and not just the Chibok community, should it be then that will be marking the visit of the president to that particular community?
Well, thank you very much. A good question. A lot of Nigerians have rightly questioned why the president hasn't gone to Chibok. I do not work for the presidency, so I cannot say on behalf of the president why he did not go. But what I do think I can say is that it is important for us to build a much less bipartisan approach towards the issue of Chibok. Chibok is really and genuinely a national problem. It's a problem that has caught Nigeria at a crucial juncture of its history, where we need to define who we are as a people. We have to go beyond sentiments to the primary objective of, one, getting our girls back. Two, understanding that Chibok is symptomatic of a fundamental problem with Nigeria as a nation state. The president is the president. He may have his failings as an individual, certainly. But I can say one thing for him. He is not the dunderhead that people think he is. And I can also say that the president is very concerned about the situation. And it is not every single strategy of government or strategic initiative that will really get to the fore of the public for obvious security reasons. We can't say we are not likely to see every move, every step. One of the things I want to say here is that this isn't Jack Bauer in 24. It's a lovely program, it's a lovely movie, but things don't work like that in reality. It's a lot slower, a more deliberative, and more calculative effort to actually bring back people who have been adopted with minimal collateral damage. Minimal. And that is what the president has continuously said. Yes, they could go there, stormtroopers blazing with two guns, and kill everybody. Is that the objective? No.
Definitely not. So let me shift to Kingsley then. What Alera alluded to, Malala came, 17-year-old, celebrating her birthday in Nigeria, gave the Malala Day speech and visited the president, and suddenly we heard the president, within 24 hours, he would meet with the family of those girls. What's your thought about it? The fact that it coincides with the Malala visit, no matter what anybody in the presidency say, we've made effort, we've done everything, but the fact that it seems that the president waited, how do you interpret that as a public affairs analyst?
I don't think it's about the issue about waiting. I think the unfortunate thing about Chibok is that it's become a political issue. Those girls are caught up in a political divide between the PDP and the APC, and that itself is having an impact on the rescue plans. So I don't know. It's quite delicate. What I would say is that the president has to be very, very cautious, right? And Malala comes in without any agenda. She has no political motives. She desires the truth. This is a young girl who has been shot at by militants and survived. And because she comes with genuine intentions and genuine motives, she's able to reach out to the president. And if you look back at what has happened prior to now, you will discover that those girls were kept away from the presidential panel set up by Mr. President. In other words, when that fact-finding team that was supposed to go to the Chibok to ascertain what actually happened on that day,
who kept them away from the presidential
panel? That's the issue. None of these girls appeared before that presidential panel. None of their parents appeared.
Would you say that it was intentional?
Well, that is the politics of the situation, because in Nigeria, unfortunately, everything gets political. And once things get political, it becomes very difficult to read the true patterns. People have complained about the fact that Mr. President waited for a certain number of days before he
almost
spoke.
20 days.
Again, that would be a reading of the political situation. And I'll tell you this. You look at how it happened. Schools in Borno State were supposed to be closed down. No secondary school was supposed to be operational. And a school is set up to carry out exams in a zone that is very close to Sambisa Forest without any security cover. And in the middle of the night, the Boko Haram people go there and carry these girls away. So you have to understand that the position on the ground in Borno State, because you have an opposition political party, and I'm not casting any aspersions at the government on ground, but because you have a political party in Borno State that is different from the party at the center, political dynamics have entered into the interchange between both parties. And I recall the Borno State governor saying that, in a public forum, saying that it took the president 19 days before he called me to find out what happened in Chibok. And I'm saying, but you're the governor. If 200 of your girls are kidnapped, the first day after it happens, you should call the president to say, 200 of my girls have been kidnapped. And so when you look at the situation, the fact that Chibok has also become political, people are taking advantage of it and using it to cast aspersions, the president also has to be careful how he responds to the unfolding dynamics, because I'm pretty sure those of them who are in the villa have no accurate reading of the situation on ground. And regarding the issue about visiting Chibok, look, we have to recognize that Chibok is an active battle scene. It's like asking Obama or the Pakistani president to visit South Waziristan. Since the militants took over in South Waziristan, no government representative in Pakistan or Afghanistan has gone to South Waziristan, because it's an active war zone. You can go in there, anything can happen at any time. So when you ask your #1 citizen to go into a war zone just because you want to appease one or two interests, you have to wonder what the real motive is. Is it that you want the president to go in there, and while he's there, there's an attack by Boko Haram and something untoward happens? So we need to be very careful, because the dynamics of the security reports that the president is receiving, and the fact that, you know, there is really nothing of immediate value in going to the locals. You have to balance this.
But those who are saying that, they're saying it with the thought in mind that anywhere else, if the president of Nigeria, the president, commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, decide that there will be a lockdown, if we assume we've got 350 million soldiers, 350,000 soldiers in Nigeria, add a few 100,000 policemen and other security agencies. If the president wants to deploy them and say, I'm going to lock down Maiduguri and I will visit, Isn't that a possibility?
It is a possibility, and you're quite...
And would you still say that 5,000, 10,000, even 15,000 Boko Haram would still have been able to get at him?
You're quite sound in your reasoning there, but you also have to recognize that not too long ago in Borno State, there was a situation where soldiers turned against their superior officer and shot at him. You have had instances in Borno State of military officers being accused of cooperating with insurgents. The situation in Borno State is very, very dynamic, and if the security reports indicate that it's not favorable for the president to visit that zone, I would advise that we err on the side of caution.
Okay, maybe I should ask you then, Taslim, when you look at the request for $1 billion, a loan to be taken by the president to tackle Boko Haram, some people have turned this into a controversy that points to the fact that it means our soldiers are not well equipped, or they're not equipped well enough to be able to tackle Boko Haram. So we need $1 billion to buy them fresh equipment and strengthen their hands, which would then translate into, was the governor of Borno State right in saying our soldiers don't have enough equipment?
No, I'll take off like this. Like my colleague said, the situation is a very fluid and dynamic situation, and it is necessary for us to, as much as possible, not get into the fray of a political party saying one thing and the other party trying to defend itself on that same thing. Now, for me, it's like this. Do we need to upgrade the Nigerian military in terms of hardware, in terms of logistics, and in terms of infrastructure? Yes. Has there been debilitating depreciation in the arsenal that the military has had over the years? Yes. Regardless of what any governor says, it is obvious that there is a need for the Nigerian military to be re-equipped. It isn't that they are not equipped, but they need to be re-equipped. They need to have much more sophisticated equipment than they have currently to meet an emergent dynamic situation. This is the first time Nigeria is having an insurgency of this magnitude and of this ramification. And therefore, we have to respond. And if it requires that we're going to spend, like you said, $1 billion, so be it. The whole world is changing. There are battlefields across the planet. And we cannot say that we are going to fold our arms and crucify those who did not take action when they should have taken action concerning upgrading of the military infrastructure. What we can do, which I think is my attitude, is to be positive and say, let's do what it's going to take to move the military to where it should be.
In essence, we should do the needful.
Do the needful. And when we say $1 billion, my only slight difference with the presidency will be a question of the loan. I don't think that we need a loan, personally. I mean, a loan will involve generation of Nigerians paying both the principal and interest elements over a period of time. Mm-hmm. But we have a sufficiently robust foreign reserves. It's sufficiently robust. We're talking about $40 billion. And I don't see any reason why we should penny pinch, irrespective of taking $1 billion from that and putting it into building a military that will protect our investment interests, that will protect our children, that will protect our schools, that will protect our future. This, I think it's just basic.
Besides, Mr. Shitabed, remember that the president set up the Terror Victim Support Fund. What is that supposed to do? Is that not part of the same project?
Well, the Terror Victim Support Fund is designed to support victims of terror. In other words,
like the Chibok girls.
Like Chibok girls. We're talking about when the girls come back, they will need medical attention. When the girls come back, and I didn't note, advisedly, I did not say if, I said when, because they are coming back. When the girls come back, they will need psychological orientation. Okay. They will need to be relocated to other parts of the country where it's safer, and all this will involve money. So that kind of fund does that.
So you think that the president, that intervention was in the right direction?
Certainly, most certainly.
Okay. So maybe Kingsley might want to help us here then with this issue of, still on the issue of the $1 billion that the president is looking to take on as a loan. In terms of priority, we've got quite a few other things. Does the issue of Chibok and the Boko Haram take precedence over all the other areas like power like youth empowerment, like infrastructure development? Do they take employment? We saw what happened with our young people who are looking to work for internal affairs.
Immigration.
Yes, immigration debacle.